Yeah, Coach. I guess were you relieved that Charlie was not on the list?
Yeah, he's Peter said I can tell you guys he's been cleared, so we're good there.
How are Mac Wilson's long snapping skills?
You know what? He's really good. When he's good, he's good. Inconsistent yesterday, like you would expect. We do work with all these guys. Some of our young tight ends have been working since July. And so we have a plan in place. If Matt couldn't go, we could have somebody else go. We've got 3 or 4 guys that are on active on our roster every game that are ready to be long snappers if need be.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marla. Next up is Scott Petrick.
Hey, Coach. So is there still uncertainty regarding Cody and the kicking situation?
Yeah, I think we just got to go through the normal protocols that have been set in place for obvious reasons. Hopefully we can get Cody back for the weekend. And if not, Matt had a real good day yesterday. He's going to kick again today and he'll be ready to roll.
About those 2 guys, first of all, just how good has Cody been for you, kind of stabilizing that situation since week 2?
He's been outstanding. The really cool thing is the last 2 weeks we've had, you guys know that those crazy wins in our stadium, and the wins were different both times. And all 3 specialists got out there and in pregame, and both games they were true pros. They were talking about it. They didn't overthink it. They just went out and they executed. And I think Cody in the 2 games was 4 of 5 on his kicks, and he kicked off okay. Again, there's certain levels of wins in that stadium. You hit a certain level, you can hit a touchback. If not, the wind will knock it down. And so we're still learning that way. But Cody's done a really nice job.
And then what have you seen out of Matt since he's been there? I mean, he's been there a while now.
Yeah, he's been there, I think, since week 2.
Yeah.
The great thing is that our personnel people and myself, we've had a plan in place since July. If something crazy like this happened, and as I told Coach Stefanski the other day, I said, we're not going to even bat an eye. We've got a plan now. We got to go execute the plan. If we don't have Cody, we got to be ready to go. If Cody can come back Sunday morning, we'll be ready to go. So either way, we're not pressing the panic button. We'll just go out and do our deal, and Matt will be fine. Matt will do a great job for us if he has to play on Sunday.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Scott. Next question goes to Nate Ulrich.
So, Coach, about Matt and keeping him ready, do you have to treat it differently than you would any other year in terms of just the amount of time he gets with, the holder and the snapper? Because I know timing, is so important with those guys.
Sure.
Is that something you have to keep in mind and keep him, practiced with those guys?
Yeah, we've periodically, and I wouldn't say every week, Nate. I would say every other week he's got reps with Charlie and Jamie. But again, it's not extensive reps, but he kicks every week. I mean, he does a great job on the scout team. He gets field goals on his own. And then at times especially I think we had the one practice during the bye week, we got some extensive work there just to have him ready at all times. Because, you gotta expect the best, but prepare for the worst. And not that it's worse for Matt, obviously kicking for us, but we had to prepare for that situation. I think we've done a good job in doing so. We'll continue to do that today and tomorrow.
How crucial is the timing between those 3 positions?
I think it's not only the timing, it's also exactly the type of tilt on the ball that Matt wants. Matt's slightly different than Cody, and that's just Jamie getting used to it. And Jamie's like a robot back there. Does a great job and listens to instructions from the holder and goes out and does it. So we did a good job yesterday, and we hope to have some more success today.
Thank you, Nate. Dan Lobby, we'll go to you.
Hey, Coach, I know you guys have been in the intensive protocols for a couple weeks, but yeah, I'm just curious, with the league kind of going to that the rest of the year now, what do you guys lose with less like in-person interaction that maybe you would have during a normal season?
Yeah, that's the toughest part for me. I mean, I love my job, as I told you guys before, because of the interaction with the players, and you don't have that in meetings. You don't get to meetings a few minutes early and see how the guys are doing, and and talk to Tavir Thomas about his new baby boy, or have the opportunity to talk to other guys about how they're doing outside of football. And then once the meeting starts, get locked in and talk football. But that's the part I miss the most, is the interaction with them. You don't get that as much with these protocols, but we are, like everybody keeps saying, we're 2020. And we just got to roll with the punches like everybody else. And the fact that we're playing, the fact that we're practicing, the fact that we're working is a blessing. Obviously, a lot of people in this country aren't working right now, and they're going through a lot of tough times. So we hope to provide at least the Cleveland Browns fans with some joy, and hopefully we'll keep working hard and keep winning games.
do you kind of try and maximize those couple hours you maybe do get when guys are in a practice and some of that in-person opportunity you do get?
Absolutely. Every chance we get, whether it's walk-through time, jog-through time after practice that we have set up now during practice, a couple reminders right before you go out before special teams period starts. Every opportunity we get is an opportunity to coach and help these guys learn and continue to get better. And then we're really pushing the watching a lot of tape on their own. They're at home a little bit longer than they normally are, either in the morning or when they go home at night. I'm allowed to have a 15-minute virtual meeting at night with these guys at 5:45 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. We get a lot of work done there. And then from there, I tell them exactly what they need to watch that night, kind of a homework assignment, if you will. And the true pros out there are doing it, and those guys are the ones that are getting better. And those guys are the ones that are performing for us on Sundays.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. Tony Grossi, you're up.
Hey, Mike, two quick ones. Number one, will you take Matt to the stadium, or will you hold off until till you know if he's kicking?
No, I mean, we're going to go ahead and kick today. I thought it was important, Tony, that he kicked with the guys today. Going down the stadium, obviously, it wouldn't be with the whole protection. I think it'd be good for him to feel rush off the edge like we're going to do today and tomorrow, and put a little pressure on him, make sure his timing's right. And I thought that was more important than going down to the stadium. And he's been down there. He understands the wins, and he and Cody talk every week. Cody's been phenomenal as a kind of a mentor for Matt to help him to prepare, because Cody's a team guy, and he knows that if Matt's going to kick for us, Matt's got to be ready. And Cody's done a nice job helping him in that regard.
Thanks. And a question about Cody. What happened to him with the Bears could have destroyed his career.
Mm-hmm.
How did he overcome that?
I think he's a mentally tough guy, and I don't think he gets too rattled. He's very unlike me. I'm kind of emotional, and I go up and down probably too much, as you can ask my wife and my kids, or my players. But Cody's very even keel. He's very steady, and I think anything good that happens or anything less than perfect that happens, he just rolls with it and continues to improve and get better. So I admire him for that. I admire him for the way he's come back, and especially the way he's performed for us this year.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you,
Sure.
Tony. Back to Scott Patrick.
Hey, Mike, about the long snappers, I know Charlie's back, but say he got hurt or whatever and you had to go to a backup, would that affect anything you did during a game, whether or not you decide to kick a field goal as opposed to go for it, or punt as opposed to go for it?
I think the field goal snaps are probably a little bit, I wouldn't say easier, but they're a little bit easier to execute. Punt-wise, I think there'd have to be some changes. We've got to get out of there quick, because, if we have a backup snapper, I know what I would do. We're going to come after people. We're going to come after and put some pressure on them. And that's exactly what we worked on yesterday with Jamie, getting the ball out of there quick and still having quality punts and going down there and covering them and helping Mac or whoever that backup snapper is, helping them in protection and make sure that, whatever scenario that we might be in, we cover that in practice so we're feeling comfortable with it if it happens in a game.
Gotcha. Thanks.
You bet.
Thank you, Scott. Marla Reiner, you're up.
Yeah, I'm asking this question for all the fans who email me every Monday about Donovan Peoples-Jones. I mean, they feel like every week he's got kind of a moment where they sort of freak out. I mean, do you think he's making improvement?
Donovan's a very smart player, but the thing with the rookie returner, and I'm with the fans, sometimes I freak out a little bit too. Obviously, the game last week was a tough play, but I think as a young player, no matter what position you play, you need experience. Practice is one thing. Watching it on tape is another thing. We do countless reps of punt returns and kickoff returns before and after practice or during practice, of catching punts and putting them in different situations and moving them around. And the situation you use it on Sunday, we practice that countless times. I think the only way those guys get better at that stuff is to experience it. And yes, there are some growing pains with any young returner, and I feel their pain. I get it. We just got to keep coaching them, and that's who we have right now. We just got to keep working.
And one quick one. Did you appreciate Joel Batonio's quote about the 12 flags all blowing a different direction on Sunday?
Yeah, I didn't see that quote, but it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's you saw it in Houston's field goal. That poor kid. He thought the winds were blowing left to right, so he plays it over to the left, and the wind was actually going the other way. And you get the winds on the field. You got a bag actually blowing across the field the opposite direction. So it was a crazy day. The national anthem was the craziest weather I think I've ever seen. One of the players asked me after the game if I ever flew in weather like that. I'm saying absolutely not. I wouldn't want to fly a helicopter in that wind. That would have been kind of treacherous.